Hello everyone, I am Mami Grass from Philippines. So I'm a newbie watercolorist. Today I'm going to unbox one of my items in my Shopee store, which is Winsor and Newton Cotman watercolors. I highly recommend this one. Actually, not just me, but some of the artists that I follow on social media and YouTube, because they use this for practice pieces. Okay, so instead of using up their artist grade watercolors very quickly, they actually use Winsor and Newton Cotman, some of them at least, for when they're practicing some pieces. Okay, so this one is available at my Shopee store. Currently 10% discount until end of this month. So if you want to try this one out, it's available on my Shopee store, which I will put the link to in the description box below. Okay, so let's open this one today. So I'm opening this one for my sons because I have been teaching them, because I'm homeschooling them and I have been teaching them how to paint in watercolor, and I thought this is the time to upgrade them to a high quality student grade watercolor, which is what the Winsor and Newton Cotman is. This is Skechers Pocket Box Edition, so it's very small. I love how small this is and can easily fit your jeans pocket if you have a deep pocket. Okay, so let me just okay, so this is how you open this one. Okay, so this pocket box edition, Skechers Pocket Box Edition, has this metal traveler's brush included. Okay, let's okay, how do we open this one? Okay, there you go. So it's a small brush, so if you are into miniature painting, this could be one of the nicest brush you could ever use while traveling and painting at the same time. Okay, so painting on plein air. Okay, so the box has this description. It says that the contents are one pocket-sized plastic box. So this is the plastic box with integrated palette. So this is where you put your brush, and this is where you mix your colors. Okay. Then this set also comes with 12 half pan colors. So that's 2 ml worth of watercolor. The colors are here. I will show you that later. Let's go through first this pamphlet that came with the box. So yeah, it has this what you call this color chart that indicates the colors that are available for purchase from Winsor and Newton website. So these are the colors that you may purchase, but this box actually comes with 12 basic colors. You can already paint and mix different colors with just this set. So I really highly recommend this for beginners because this is high quality student grade watercolor, and this is great for practice for those who are professional watercolorists, and great practice too materials for those who are still studying watercolor. So I'm also at that stage where I am exploring watercolors. So there you go. So what are the colors that are available? So let's unpack each color. So this one is lemon yellow. Okay, so how do we open this one? Okay, so let me just figure out how to open this one. Okay, which is Winsor and Newton Cotman Skechers Pocket Box. Alright, so I have already unpacked some of the colors because I want to be quick about this. But each color comes in half pants and covered with this label sticker, a label paper that you can actually keep this and mark out the colors. Use that to mark out the colors. Later I will show you how to do that. Okay, so each half pan has label, so you don't, if in case you lose these, at least you will know what color is in your half pan, especially for those who are pretty new to watercolor. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to get to know your watercolors in case you just got your kit and don't know the colors. So this is we will do swatching today, which is one way of getting to know your watercolor. Okay, so actually different brands sometimes would have different intensities per color. For example, the alizarin crimson of Sennelier, I notice, is a bit different with the alizarin crimson of Daniel Smith, all those things. Okay, so today I will just show you how I do swatching. Okay, so I just unpacked this Cotman watercolors. My son will be using this watercolor for painting sessions with me because I don't want them to waste or use up my artist grade watercolors because they're really expensive. All right, so here you go. So I have here this pocket box, and the pocket box comes with a traveler's brush. Okay, so this is a traveler's brush. See how small this is. So I think this is a size 2. It's the size of the pocket box easily fits your jeans pocket. So this is perfect for those who like to travel and color at the same time or paint at the same time. Okay, so all right. Okay, that's on me. I rotated my pocket box. Okay, so you're not supposed to rotate it like that. Okay. Alright, so for the purpose of this swatching session, I'm not going to use the travel size brush and will instead use my size 6, my favorite silver brush velvet round brush, which is size 6. Okay, so in order to swatch, let's first set up our, let's see if this is going to fit. Okay, so okay, anyway, so when you're traveling, maybe you'd need to tuck it so that you can mount this on your what you call this, board, and then you can have a paper tape on this when you're painting, and then paint away while looking at your subject. But now, since we are not outside, we can just do away with this board and just paint or swatch using my journal and our spiffy brand new Cotman watercolors. Okay, when you're getting to know your colors, just basically do a basic wash, which is it can be either a flat wash or a graded wash. Okay, let me just show you what I mean by that. So a flat wash is basically just getting the color using your wet brush and mix it on this palette. Okay, so sadly my round brush has green stain. Okay, so this is your lemon yellow. So you just mix the colors here, adding more colors if you want it intense. Okay, so I like how Cotman, actually I've used Cotman before. A few of the colors I have in my palette are actually Winsor and Newton Cotman. Okay, and then to do a flat wash, you just basically just do it like this. Okay, Or if you have, you can actually do this. There you go. And then rinse your brush with clean water. That is your flat wash. But if you want a graded wash, you can just pull the color out using clean water. Okay, like what I'm doing now. So I'm basically pulling the colors towards the right. Okay, just like that. But since I'm using cellulose paper, so it's not it done and has several tooths, so the appearance of the colors might be a little different if you are using a cotton paper. Okay, another way of doing this is by wetting the paper first. So that's this is wet on wet, this one is wet on dry, because I painted over the dry paper. This one I just wet first with damp water, with water rather. I wet this paper with water using my wet brush, and I just add the color, okay, from my pan and do this. Alright, and then diluting it with water and just pulling the colors like that also. Okay, or what another thing is to just tilt the paper so that the colors will flow out. The color will not move towards dry paper. It will just move where the water is. So that's how you do it for graded wash. Okay, so this is graded wash using wet on dry, meaning wet brush on dry paper, while this one I did using wet on wet, where the brush is wet and the paper is wet. So I wet the paper first with clean water. Alright? And then, since we have already added those colors, we will just label it with, say, pencil. And put it here as lemon yellow. Okay. So, this type of yellow is cool yellow. Okay. So, lemon yellow siya. This is some wet on dry. Well, this one is wet on wet. Graded wash. Okay, again, flat wash is if you are just evenly painting on a surface of the paper, on the surface of the paper. Okay, just like that. So this one is flat wash. Okay, so you use flat wash when you say painting a background for your subject. Well, this one is when you're painting, for example, if you want to paint the sky and you're using, say, blue, you would want the upper part of the sky to be dark blue while the lower part to be lighter blue. Okay? So what I like about wet on wet naman is because you don't get sharp edges like what you will get when you apply the paint wet on dry. Okay, so you can see here, meron siyang harsh boundary. Whereas this one, medyo mas soft yung kanyang boundary because this one we applied wet on wet. Okay, so those are the different washes that you can do with your watercolor. So this session is basically just about wash and how to swatch your brand new watercolors. Okay, so it is very important that you do swatching of your colors in order to get to know your colors better. Para when someone teaches you, for example, to paint, say, flowers and you need sap green, you would know which on your palette is sap green. Okay? If someone tells you to grab your cadmium yellow, you would know that you would grab this rather than this one because this one is lemon yellow while this one is cadmium yellow. Okay? So I actually did that with some of my gouache before using the same notebook. So this is my notebook where I have my swatches for my new paints. So this one is Winsor and Newton gouache. This is a drawing of a donut, and this one is a swatch of my what you call this, my other gouache. Okay, so and I forgot the brand for that. Let me just check. Okay, so this is Dollar Brownie. Dollar Rowney gouache set. Okay, let me just put that here before I forget again. Dollar Rowney gouache set. Okay. So that's how I swatch. And then sometimes I also swatch my colors and then mix them up. Okay, so I tend to do that as well, so that I'll know that when you say mix a certain pair of colors, you would get color that's different. For example, this one is rose madder and lemon yellow, and I got this nice muted orange color. So that's how I do also my mixing. But the most important part first is, of course, is to swatch your colors like this, okay, before you start mixing. So today we'll only cover swatching, okay. And this one is my new these are my new paints that arrived last month, and I swatch it like this so that I'll know what colors I do have in my stash. So okay, so if you get your watercolors, it's really important that you swatch your watercolors first to get to know your colors, okay. And these are just some of the paintings I did on this journal. I do a lot of practice on my journal so that I also know my progress. Okay, so we're done with lemon yellow. Now let's go and mix, or rather swatch, the next color. So this one is, according to package, is cadmium yellow. Okay, so as you can see, cadmium yellow is warm yellow. It's almost like orange. Okay, there you go. Okay, so let's intensify that color, and then wash my brush a bit and pull that color to the right side in order to see how light it can get. Okay, again, I'm using cellulose paper and not cotton. That's why the color can appear a little different, but if you're using cotton, it will be much more vibrant, and the paper will be much more absorbent. Okay, so after putting that down, painting that down, you put in the label. So since this is still wet, you don't write on top of your swatch. You put the label right here. Okay, so this is cadmium yellow. Take note that cadmium yellow is a highly staining color. Okay, so once you put it down, it's really hard to rub off. Hindi mo na siya malilift masyado. It will stain your paper almost permanently. Okay, so that is important in case you make a mistake and want to lift off your cadmium yellow. Okay, next is cadmium red. Okay, so cadmium red, as you can see, is a little bit on the orange side. So medyo very bright yung kanyang color. Okay, so let me just check the package. That is cadmium red. Okay, cadmium red. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so if you're painting oranges, for example, or tangerines, maybe this is the color you would want to mix with your yellow. Okay, when you mix cadmium red with cadmium yellow, you will actually get cadmium orange. We will do that just to let you see how it works. Cadmium red. Okay, how about we try to mix that? So I'll just grab the color here and mix it with my cadmium yellow so that you'll know what I mean. Okay, so this one right here is your cadmium orange. Okay, so I just mixed cadmium red with cadmium yellow. So this one is cadmium orange. See? So this is cadmium red plus cadmium yellow. Okay, there you go. Next is this color, which is alizarin crimson. Okay, so alizarin crimson is a little bit on the purple side, so this is a cool red. So this is one of my favorite colors also. when I'm painting, one of my favorite primary colors, especially when painting portraits. Okay. So this one is alizarin crimson. Okay. Again, we are swatching Winsor and Newton Cotman watercolors. Right? Next color is, let's see. Okay, this is French ultramarine blue. Okay. So this is French ultramarine blue. Okay, let's do vertical lines. And then wash it off. And then let's grab the color using just water. Okay, there you go. So this is as light as it can get. Okay, so this is ultramarine blue. Okay, now let's see what will happen if we combine ultramarine blue with alizarin crimson. Let's do that. So I'll grab my ultramarine blue and mix it with alizarin crimson on my mixing palette. And what you will have is violet. There you go. It's nice, diba? So this is violet. Mix using ultramarine blue plus alizarin crimson. Okay, so sometimes I do that when I'm switching. Or swatching rather. Okay, next. We'll grab the next color, and this one is super staining type of blue, which is phthalo blue. Okay, so this is this is like the true blue. Kasi si ultramarine blue, medyo ano pa siya medyo may konting hint pa siya ng violet, but phthalo blue is your true blue. Okay, and it's highly staining. Okay, so it's one of those blue that it's hard to lift off. Okay, so this is phthalo blue. Okay, there you go. Next color. Okay, as you can see, I made my swatches big so that you will be able to see them clearly. Okay, next is this type of green, which is, can you guess what? Okay, here you go. This is Viridian green. Okay, let me just grab my brush and wash the color off, and let's pull that out to the side. Okay, to make it lighter. Okay, so this is Viridian green. So this is the type of green that you can use when you are, say, painting the sea. Just mix it with a little bit of blue para maging slightly turquoise. How about we try to do that today? Okay, so Viridian green. Let's mix with a little bit of, say, phthalo blue. And let's see what will happen. Okay, the blue is too strong. Let's try adding a bit of phthalo blue pa. And what you will have is blue-green that is so nice. It's like ocean yung color niya. Okay? So this is blue-green. Blue-green. Mix using Viridian green, VG, plus phthalo blue, PB. Okay? So let's do that para at least alam natin what we mix using these colors. Okay, so next is one of my favorite primaries, which is yellow ochre. Okay, so I like when I mix Viridian green with yellow ochre, the green becomes muted. So I like to also use this a lot, this color. And especially when I'm painting seascapes, because this is a perfect color for sand, golden sand. Okay, the sand that you usually observe in my country, which is Philippines. Okay, so this has a bit of green, so let me just fix that. Okay, so I'm pulling the colors towards the right side, okay, to make a lighter version or the lightest hue for yellow ochre. So this one is yellow ochre. Okay, I mentioned hue. This is actually value. Okay, so lightest value of yellow ochre. So there you go. That's your yellow ochre. Now I used up this page, so we'll go through. So the beauty of this kind of journal is that you can use also the backside. Okay, so let's now proceed to swatching the next color, which is sap green. Okay, so sap green is what I use for when I am painting leaves. Okay, I'm not really that great in painting flowers. It's one of my least favorite subject. I'm into painting portraits and landscapes. So those two are my favorite subjects. But I do like to paint trees. As you have probably seen some of my one of my tree painting tutorial, which is painting cherry blossom flowers. Okay, so this one I already added some water for the lightest value of sap green. Okay, so this one is sap green. This is the kind of green that you usually color your leaves with. Okay, next color is burnt sienna. Okay, so the burnt sienna is like rust colored brown. Okay, it's a type of brown that's a bit reddish or orangish, so that's why I call it rust colored brown. Okay, so this is burnt sienna. Right? So let's now proceed to swatching the next color, which is, can you guess what? I love pronouncing this color because it's like, you know, it sounds complicated. Sounds social. Okay, so this is burnt umber. So this is your true brown. Okay, it's the color of the earth, soil. Okay, so this is burnt umber. Okay, do you like the sound of that? I do like the sound of it. Burnt umber. Okay, so this one I use a lot for when I am painting branches and trees, and of course the soil in your pot. For example, if you're painting potted plants, for example. And this one, though we don't need to swatch this because it's obviously white, I will still swatch it for you to see. So this one is titanium white, I think, or Chinese white. No, Chinese white. Okay, so this is Chinese white. Okay, so it's actually useful if you want to color in pastel. Okay, so this is a bit this is white, but something like tile white, so medyo off-white siya ng konti. Okay, so this is obviously Chinese white, because the whitest white for watercolor would be titanium white. Okay, so this is Chinese white. Okay, so how do you use Chinese white? So again, if you want, say, pastel color, let's say pastel, or let's say you want to mix red with white to make pink, then you would want to mix your alizarin crimson and white. Let me just grab my so I need the wipe so that I can mix the colors. Okay, so I actually use wet wipes, the bamboo type, because it's biodegradable. Okay, so I use that for when I am softening some edges, for example, and for cleaning my palette. Actually, you don't need to keep your mixing palette clean, but I sometimes have to do that, especially when I am about to paint portraits, because I don't want the portraits, the skin, to have some like dirt marks, parang madumi. Okay, when you're painting a portrait, sometimes it's important that you keep the skin color clean. Okay, so for example, we want to mix pink, you can just use alizarin crimson and drop it here. Wash off the color. using clean water in your bucket, and then add some white. And there you go. Now you have pink. So this one is pink. There you go. Pink. Using Chinese white. Chinese white plus alizarin crimson. Okay. Let's say we want to mix a pastel green. Can we do that? Let's try. So I'll drop here my sap green and then add Chinese white. And now I have pastel green. Okay, here. Okay, so there you go. So this is pastel green using Chinese white plus sap green, SG. Okay, so we have already swatched all 12 colors. I have also shown you how to do flat wash and graded wash. Okay, so just a recap. We did a flat wash using lemon yellow, and then we did a wet on dry graded wash using the same color, lemon yellow, and wet on wet. Now, how do we use, for example, if you want to soften, say, this sharp boundary here, this sharp color, I actually just use a damp tissue, like this one, and just, okay, that's staining, okay, and I just rub around using a damp tissue. Okay, so this one I use wet wipes that I use to clean up my mixing palette, and there you go. Okay, so that's Winsor and Newton Cotman watercolors for you guys. Here you go. So we did a flat wash, wet on dry, graded wash, and lemon yellow using lemon yellow, and then wet on wet graded wash. And then we swatch all the colors in this Pocket Plus Cotman watercolors, and then did a bit of mixing as well. So we mix cadmium orange using cadmium yellow and cadmium red. We mix a violet using alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue. We swatched phthalo blue and viridian green. Mix that to create this nice blue green for your, say, when you're painting the sea. And then we swatch the yellow ochre, sap green, burnt sienna, burnt umber. I hope that you can see the difference. So burnt sienna is reddish brown, burnt umber is your true brown. And then you have this Chinese white, which we used to mix pink. So Chinese white plus alizarin crimson, pastel green, which is Chinese white plus sap green. So there you have it. So again, this is just a basic swatching class, so it's very quick. It's one way of getting to know your watercolors. So I use Winsor and Newton Cotman. This is still wet, so you just cover it and allow the colors to dry. So it comes with this box, and it comes with pamphlet also, so that you'll know what other colors you can purchase for Cotman. Okay, I can't find the pamphlet. Anyway, okay, so that's all for now. So I hope you learned something from this today, and I hope to see you again in my next class this coming Friday. Okay, so I'll check what topic we will be having on Friday. Okay, so bye for now. Happy weekend, everybody.